No worries. I will share once again the slide. Ha. What I want is the participation word here. When there are two tables or two entities, and from those entities, the respective entities, the value which are going to get participated in another table, that time we say it as a participation here. There are two types of participation. One it is called as a total participation, and another it is what called as a partial participation. Now, these two keywords, we are aware, basic knowledge, what is a total and what is a partial. We say total, it is a complete, full. And what is a partial? Which is a half year. Okay. And so here, what is a total and what is a partial? Where it will be applied between two entities and between two tables here. What kind of a relationship will be there? What kind of a notation we are supposed to use to indicate whether it is a partial or whether it is a total participation. So let us begin with the first participation, which is called as a total complete. Okay. So it specifies that each entity in the entity set, entity means what? Table, and entity set means what? The respective values, E1, E2, E3, E4. Like a Sai Prakash, Maitri, Aishwarya, and Pavitra. Yeah, these are the separate values are there. Okay. Must compulsory participated in at least one relationship instance in that relationship set here. Last time we had taken the example of this what Sai Prakash has taken the course of Java, Betty has taken the course of Advanced Java, and Aishwarya has taken the course of Python. And for each table, one table is of student and another table is of what? Course here. So for the course table, you are having three values. That is Advanced Java, Java, and Python. And for the student also, we have the three values. That is Sai Prakash, Maitri, and Aishwarya. So Java, Sai Prakash has participated in Java course, and Maitri is participated in or taken for this what course here, Advanced Java, and Aishwarya has taken the course of this what Python. Now three values were there. Those are Sai Prakash, Maitri, and Aishwarya. Everyone has taken a respective course. You people tell me, is anyone leaving any course? Is anyone left out any other empty? Can anyone tell me? Respond me. Is everyone engaged with the respective course?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anyone has left here?
No.
No. So, Sai Prakash Java, Maitri Advanced Java, and Aishwarya, this is what Python is. So, what does specify? Entity set must compulsory participate in at least one relationship. Now, here in the course table, which all course we have, Java is there, Advanced Java is there, Python. From this, Sai Prakash may take Java, and Aishwarya also may take Java, and Maitri will take this what Advanced Java. Python, okay, leave it as it is. But what we want to say that from one table where the student total, whoever the values are there, whoever the participants are there here, they are completely engaged in every course here, at least one course here. Okay, here for this you should not say that Python koi bhi nahi liya hai. Okay, fine, leave it. But the two courses has been taken by all the this what values from the student table here. Okay. So that is what called as a mandatory participation. From the student table, they have to enroll for at least one course here. If Aishwarya has not taken any of the value, then what will happen? You know, that will happen as a partial participation. Why? From this entity or from the student table, any of the value is left empty. Any of the value is left empty here. So total participation is represented using double line between the entity set and the relationship set here. Now here two lines are there. We call it as a total participation. How to identify when from this relationship to this entity student, when there is a double line, we have to say that the student table is in the from the student table, all the values have participated or have enrolled for this course. From the student table, none of the student has left empty. I mean, it means that nobody has taken any of the course. Everybody is engaged in one kind of a course here. Okay, so double line Now see, double line between the entity set student and the relationship set enrolled in. The relationship is what enrolled in signifies the total participation of the student table. It specifies that each student must be enrolled in at least one course. Here, how many courses are there? We have Java, Advanced Java, and Python here. So I said another example I had taken. Aishwarya and Sai Prakash has taken for the Java. Maitri has taken for the this word advanced Java. Python is left okay, but value is being present in the course table. It is not required that Python is also should be taken by some student. No, it is not. So what happens for this course table? For this course table, what happens? This course entity is what? Partial participation. Why? Because Java is being taken by Aishwarya and Sai Prakash, and advanced Java is being taken by Maitri. Who is going to take this word Python? Nobody is taken. So the course table or the course entity is what? Partial participation. Okay. I hope you have got the total participation. Soon we have to begin with the partial participation with the description and diagram. Hope you have got the total participation. Again, I'm repeating from one table when all the values have participated or have connected to another table values, and that is what called as the total participation here. What is a partial participation here? It specifies that each entity in the set again, each entity in the entity set may or may not participated in the relationship instance in that relationship. That is why it is also called as the optional participation. Now I'll take the example again. Sai Prakash, Maitri, Aishwarya. Sai Prakash has taken for Java. Maitri has taken for the advanced Java. Aishwarya may take or may not take. It is her choice. When she say may not take, then that it will become this word partial participation. Why? From the student table, Maitri, Aishwarya, and Sai Prakash and Maitri have taken the course Java and Advanced Java. Aishwarya, as we don't, she may or may not. So that we have to keep it is what partial. Kyunki from the student table, all the values have not participated in next table here. Some are not. So that time we call it as a partial participation. Again, the partial participation is represented using the single line between the entity set and relationship set here. Here the single line it is there here. Okay. Single line between the entity set, seer, course, and relationships enrolled in signifies partial participation. It specifies that there might exist some courses for which no enrollments are made here. In one more previous example, I had given you that here what happens, Sai Prakash and Aishwarya had taken Java and Maitri is taken what? Has taken advanced Java. Who is taking Python? Nobody is taking Python. Then you have to mention the single line it is there, which means it is a partial participation. So course and relationship set enrolled is completely partial participation here. And Aishwarya will take not Aishwarya, anyone from the student table enroll for the Python course, then we can specify the double line. So we have to say that both the entities are completely total participation, are signifying the total participation here. Okay. So this is the partial and the previous one what total. At least all the values should be connected to everyone, so that will become a total. If any of the values have not connected or not enrolled for anything, where that value is completely empty, value is present, but that is not getting associated with another table, then we have to say it for partial participation. Okay. So two things are done with us. That is a total and it is what? Partial. I hope you have got the idea. The next topic it is what? ER diagram notations here. What is the entity relationship here? Entity relationship diagram is what we are supposed to, we should be aware what is the entity, what is attribute, and what is the relationship here, and how these are getting connected here. Okay. So the question might arise for you people for 5 marks. Explain the different ER diagram notations here. So let us see First one, it is what entity table, normal entity. Entity is what table here, where you have to represent the rectangle box. And in entity, you have strong entity and weak entity. What is the strong entity? Which the entity is having a unique key. We call it as a primary key. Then that is a strong entity here. Then what is weak entity? First of all, you understand that weak entity is going to represent with the double rectangle. What it specifies that when this entity is not having a unique key, not having any primary key, but this entity or table is dependent on other table, that time we call it as a weak entity. Now I'll give you the example soon. Suppose in that table, in normal table here, few of the values are completely independent. They are not dependent on anyone. And in that table, there is no primary key. Just normal table is there. So that also we can specify it as a weak entity here. Okay. But you can say that when the entity is not having a unique key or the primary value, you call it as a weak entity here. Because sometimes the question arises or when there are independent attributes are there, no primary key is there. Should we say it as a weak entity? No, it is not required. So two things are over: entity, weak entity. The relationship should be done with the help of diamond line or rhombus here. When this kind of a symbol is there, you have to say that yes, there is a relationship between the two entities or two tables which are associated in the kind of relationship here. In the last example, you have seen that student enrolled in course. Student is entity, enrolled is a relationship, and another course is what? That is also entity. The weak relationship is like a partial participation. Like none of the values are getting associated with each other. Not all the values. Few of the values are getting associated with each other here. That time we call it as a weak relationship here. Then attribute here. What are the attributes here? Which are the properties of table, or which are the this what properties of the entity here. So attribute is going to mention with the help of noted with the help of oval. Okay. In attributes, we have learned different types of attributes: composite attributes, derived attribute, then multi-valued attribute, and key attribute here. Okay. So here, the next one, you can see the double oval, which we call it as a multi-valued here. Like example, you can specify that phone number here, where you are having two phone numbers here. Okay. And this is the cardinality. This we will refer. I will keep aside for the few topics I'll teach you here. Okay, cardinality means what? One to one relationship, many to one, one to many here, many to many relationship here. Okay. So let us begin. One more new topic is there today for your people, where it is going to get related for your practical session also. We should be aware now of all the keys, as we will be getting n number of errors in the practical session. So we might be knowing the kind of keywords, what keyword it is, we will not understand here. So let us learn. You have learned the different types of attributes. Now, similarly, you are going to have a different type of keys also. Keys. मतलब values are there. So let us learn here. Begin. Keys play an important role in the relational database. Before starting with this, key is nothing. Attribute a key. For that attribute, you are supposed to give the name, whether it is a primary key or whether it is a foreign key. These two keys are going to be familiar with us till we keep on working with our database here, RDBMS here, completely. Every time it is going to get referred, we should be completely familiar with the primary key as well as the foreign key. Okay. So it is used to uniquely identify. Of course, key is what? Unique value. Now, from your class, everyone has a respective roll number, right? As I give the example, Sai Prakash roll number, it is what? 401. So this 401 roll number is not going to take by any other person. 401 has been booked to Sai Prakash over. If you have any other Sai Prakash, okay, we have to give some other roll number here. So when you have this unique key or unique value, we mention it as a key here. So this is what they have said: uniquely identify any record or row of data from the table. Of course, because row of data means what? In the table, columns will be heading part, and the row it is what values we are going to start with. Step by step values will be there. It is also used to establish and identify relationships between tables, not table. Okay, two tables are there. I can give you the example normal. When you had taken the admission for the first time, we are having a separate register book of your own personal details, and we are having there your university seat numbers also. So that is a personal table. Okay. Now we will be creating some separate tables for your first semester, second semester, third semester, fourth semester here. Okay. Till date here. So now what happens from the personal table where the university number has been recorded or Aadhaar card number has been recorded. So that Aadhaar card number you have to take and you have to put in this what? First semester, second semester, third semester, fourth semester. As Aadhaar card number or university seat numbers are not going to change frequently. Once it is given to Sai Prakash, it is a Sai Prakash university seat number only. So it is what? That's why they have said it is establish and identify the relationship between the tables here. Okay. Example now. In the student table, normal table is there. Okay. ID. You can say ID, you can say roll number, or you can say USN number here. You can say now student ID is used as a key because it is unique for each student. Cyberclass roll number is what? 401. We have to use this word roll number as a unique key here. Then in person table, passport number, license number, social security number are keys since they are unique for each person. Yes. Passport number cannot be different, same for everyone here. It is going to be different for everyone here. My passport number cannot be same as mine. Cannot be same as Aishwarya. My own. Now you take no for the COVID vaccine itself. Every there they will ask this what? Aadhaar card. Why? Because Aadhaar card has been registered everywhere in the India. So with the help of that Aadhaar card number, they will get the data here who has taken or who has not taken. They are not bothered about whose it is. Only just they want the Aadhaar card number here. Okay. Shruti can be n number of Shrutis that there in the India, n number of Aishwarya there in there. So to identify the respective person here, we will give the unique ID here. You can take for the person as an Aadhaar card, license number, passport number, or any other unique value here for person. Okay. And it then your university seat number is not going to work out till you are in. Okay. That will be remain for your college purpose. So just a minute. Huh. I have not specified a diagram. Okay, no worries. But I hope you have got this idea. In the student table, ID is used as a key because it has a unique value means what? Single value. No duplicate value. 401 only to Sai Prakash means Sai Prakash. 401 is not going to give to Pranay. Okay. So the next it is what? There are different keys in the relational database here. N number of keys are available. But main keys are be familiar with the primary key and foreign key. These two keys we should be aware where we have to use, how we have to use here, what changes we have to make. We should be completely aware of primary key and foreign key. Other keys like a candidate key and super key, which I have mentioned here, those are reference purpose. That keys can be asked for the Viva questions here. So here main keys are in the relational database are here: primary key, candidate key, super key, and foreign key here. Okay, so let us begin here. I have specified the diagram key here. So four keys are there. The one it is called as a primary key, okay, and next it is what called as a candidate key, CK, super key, SK. It is not Shruti Kulkarni, SK here, and FK, which is a foreign key. Okay, let us begin here one by one. What is it? Now, primary key is not a normal key. Okay, let us start. It is the first key first in your table, whichever the first key or first value it is. Sometimes it will be or sometimes it will be not, which is used to identify one and only one instance of an entity uniquely. I am saying constantly 401 to Sai Prakash is 401 to Sai Prakash only. 401 cannot be given to Pranay. It is already recorded here. An entity can contain multiple keys, as we saw in the person table. Multiple keys like name, then passport number, license number, age, address, phone number. Different keys are there here. But all these keys cannot be unique. Shrutis will be n number of Shrutis will be there. Pranay, n number of Pranays will be there. How we are supposed to identify who is Pranay Mahendrakar? I should have a respective value. No, I should have a unique value here. Okay. So then the key which is most suitable from the list, it becomes a primary key. How we are going to identify which key you will make to identify that it will become a primary key. Now in the employee table, I have specified at the right side example for your referencing. In the employee table, ID can be primary key since it is unique for each employee. You take an example from your class now, 4th semester A division, roll number or university seat number can be unique key here since unique value for each student here. Okay, in the employee table, we can even select license number and passport number as a primary key since they are also unique here. So this is not required. Any one key you have to mention as a primary key. Okay, so see here. Employee ID can be primary key. Employee name cannot be primary key because same name will be there for everyone. Employee address also no. Passport number is what unique value, which is not going to repeat, which don't have the duplicate value here. License number is there and social security number is also there, or you can say it as a PAN card number also here. So this we have to keep aside where passport number, license number, SSN is also useful here. To refer other like a candidate key, like a super key. Okay, but from this table, when you mention only one primary key, no, it is what called as a employee ID, which is a unique here. Okay, for each entity, selection of the primary key is based on the requirement and developers here. Like why it is required based on the developers, some of the clients or the customers will be there for the purpose of designing of the website or any kind here. So that time the database will come. No? So you have to decide what kind of value should be unique. Now you see, co-vaccine, vaccination purpose. Your university seat number of RCU is not registered as this what unique number. So what they are asking, if they are asking, sorry, they are asking what? Aadhaar card number. Why Aadhaar card number is being registered by everyone, which has become a very unique here compulsion part here. Okay. I hope you have got the primary key. Any doubts here so far? Any doubts? Okay, I shall
No.
proceed with the candidate key here. Now, same table I'm referring, and for your reference sake, I have prepared the table so that you will get idea what was the primary key and what was the now different keys are there. Okay. Second type of a key, it is what called as a candidate key here. Now, candidate key, we will say that candidate, how many candidates are there? No, it is not here. So let us see first of all, a candidate key is an attribute. That is also one value. That is also one attribute here. That is also one key here. Or set of attribute which can uniquely identify a table here. Now in the previous employee ID, we have mentioned like this word primary key. Apart from that, employee name cannot be the primary key. Employee address cannot be the primary key. What can be the primary key or what can be unique here? You have passport number, you have Aadhaar card number, you have license number. This we can make it as a unique number. But we have mentioned first employee ID as a primary key. That is sufficient for us. Now we will come to the point, what is a candidate key? Okay. The remaining attributes except for the primary key are considered as a candidate key, Now you have a look here in the employee table. Employee ID we have mentioned is as a primary key. What they have said, remaining attributes except for primary key are considered as a candidate. You might think that remaining attributes, what are the remaining attributes here? Employee name, employee address, passport number, license number, and social security number. These are the remaining attributes, right? But from this, all the remaining attributes, whatever I have dictated, is not a candidate key. No. Why? Employee name cannot be the candidate key here. Sai Prakash can be n number of Sai Prakash. Shruti can be n number of Shrutis here. But when you think about the passport number, license number, social security number, it can be candidate key. Why? This is also similar to the primary key, but we have mentioned what employee ID as a primary key first. So other attributes which are having unique value, they can be the candidate keys. Are you people getting here? Now, I will ask you the question from your side. You are having this what roll number, regular roll number, like every semester which is getting changed. 401 is for your fourth semester. Then we have mentioned that roll number as this what primary key, okay, for your fourth semester A division. Now I will say that name, age, then USN and student ID. Can you tell me from these values or from these attributes? I will repeat once again. From the student, fourth semester A division, roll number is a primary key, then name, normal key, and age, address, USN, and student ID. I have mentioned roll number as primary key. Can you tell me now from your side which are the candidate keys? Anyone, please? Should I repeat? From the student table, I have said roll number, name, age, address, then USN, then stud ID. Okay. For the roll number, I have mentioned it as a PK. Can you tell me now which are the this what candidate keys here? Can you tell me?
USN and
Student.
student ID.
Exactly. Why you cannot say the name and age? Because n number of students are having the same thing. Yes. So you can have a candidate key as a USN and student ID here. Okay. That was the correct answer. So let us begin here. For example, in the employee table, ID is best suited for the primary key. It is perfect in your company. Okay. Rest of the attributes like social security number, passport number, and license number are to be considered as a candidate key here. I hope you have got now what is a candidate key. Like you can say alternate for primary key. That is also perfect answer here. Okay. Now normal. For the voting purpose also we say no. If we don't have the Aadhaar card, no, sorry. If we don't have voter ID here, we can mention just what Aadhaar card is. So that time also it will become which we don't have. What they are asking, that is what called, and what alternate solution we have, then we will say it as a candidate key. Okay. Uh, then next one, super key. Super key again is a set of an attribute which can uniquely identify a table. Super key is a subset or superset of a candidate key. Here. Now I'll go back again. I'll tell you. Okay. In the above example, employee table for employee ID, employee name, the name of two employees can be the same, right? I will say as a Sai Prakash. No, I will take some other example. Aishwarya, I think Aishwaryas are many from your class. Okay. Aishwarya 1 and Aishwarya 2. Okay. Employee ID, employee name. The name of, sorry, the name of two employees can be the same, but their employee ID can't be the same. Hence, this combination can also be a key. We will say no. Which Aishwarya? Please tell her roll number. That time we have to say this word super key. When values are have the same name, but their IDs are different here. Okay. So the super key will be employee ID, employee name. Now I'll give the example normal. This is Aishwarya 1. Aishwarya 1 roll number, it is what 403 and Aishwarya first. Again, then 403 I have mentioned. No, here 404, 404 Aishwarya 2 here. And you are having the two names same, but IDs are different. That we will call it as a super key. Why super key? Because same superset of a candidate key. So this was today's class. Possible I'll mention for the foreign key also here. Now have a look for the foreign keys. Are the column of the table which is used to point to the primary key of a table here, another table here, which is used to point to the primary key of another table. In the table 1, you have primary key. In the table 2, you don't have a primary key. But in the table 2, from that table 2, whatever the value, any kind of a key is pointing to table 1. That time we will call it as a foreign key. Um, I will give the example for the foreign key in the next class. I think this is sufficient here. So please start giving the attendance here. I request everyone to give the attendance and I'll proceed for your foreign key in the next class here. So we have learned today different types of keys, partial keys. Now, let me give you the example for the total participation and partial participation. I will say that total participation when from the 45 students, sorry, 44, I am 45, no? Okay. All the 44 students have responded to my question, everyone. That time I will say this what? Participation total participation. And every day for your every class, different classes, it is going to become a partial participation. Why? Some of the students may answer, may not answer. That is what we say it as a partial participation. When everyone will respond, it will become total. And I will say now total participation when it will become, when everyone will give me the attendance without any issues. That time it is called as a total participation here. Being present in your class and if you don't give the attendance, we see it as a partial participation. I hope you have got this idea now. Okay. Okay. If you have given the attendance, you can leave my class. Thank you. Stay home. Stay safe. Take care.